Thank you. Welcome everyone to the special meeting of council for March 18th. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 5 o'clock p.m. All right. Number 2, adoption of the agenda. Be it resolved, the council adopt the agenda as presented. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sniper, seconder, Councillor Maraki. All in favor? Very good.
Aye.
Item 3, agenda, John Q. Public, JQ Built Inc. Letter of intent. That was all attached to our package. Would anybody like to speak to this, please?
Yeah, so I've been in a John Q meeting previously where all the CAOs were there, and we've talked about all the members of John Q looking into some senior housing models or affordable housing models and how we could move forward. And I got a call late last week and saying it was last minute, but they wanted to apply for funding. And so that's why it's last minute on as a special meeting before our regular meeting today. So it's a letter of intent, so it's non-binding. If there's significant funding from CHMC, doesn't necessarily mean that we'll get it. Senior housing models, affordable housing, we'll need 5.2 acres if we decide we want to move forward with this, only if we would get the funding. And 5.2 acres can come from if we own the land, or if a developer owns a significant amount of land, they may want to do this to jumpstart their development. So there's a number of ways we can look at this, but we need to be in the game, right? And brought this letter of intent. There's a resolution that would allow the mayor and the CAO to sign this. Like I say, it's non-binding. CMHC, there's federal money out there, so I made sure we did a special meeting and got this on so we can move forward with the other members of John Q to decide they want to move forward.
Great, thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Is this only an offer to members that are part of John Q? Like if you're not a member, you would?
If you're not a member, you could apply for this too, but the strength of John Q is it's a group, and there's a team of people that work at John Q, and this is what they'll do, right? This is all they'll be doing, is working on this model.
Okay.
And versus, if an RM takes it on themselves and, you're working on a year end, you have council meetings, CAO has other tasks, the staff's not big. John Q is dedicated to these kind of things, so.
Councillor Hunt, you have your hand up.
Yeah, this is for the feasibility study, with the feasibility study to see what areas need it and what land we have. And like Brent says, this is for the first stage of it to see if we have land and the feasibility study, and to see how the funding, and I think how it's going to work is, obviously there's a mortgage on it through CMHC, and then when those mortgages get paid off, then it'll be similar to the daycare was. We could own it, or we would own it, and these are going to be managed by a company a management company that rents these out. So we're not going to be in the business of rentals. It'll be handled by a management company and a maintenance company. And so this is the first stage of it, just coming out now from the government, from the federal government, as a feasibility study. So.
Is this going to come down to something about needing only you have to have sewer and water hookups for this 5.2 acre? Is that going to be part of the conditions at some point?
Well, potentially, if it's affordable housing, it'll probably be multifamily, and you may need fire suppression in there. And the only way that you could have fire suppression for something of that size is to be on a water system, or you could put your own water system. But my experience, to have multifamily and have your own water plant that would do fire suppression is about $1 million, right? So then it doesn't make sense. So yeah, and every project you do, utilities, so water and wastewater are almost necessities to move forward. As in the daycare, it's pretty difficult to put in a large daycare if you don't have a potable water supply or somewhere to put the wastewater for, you know, for a fair amount of staff and kids. So all are dependent on that, but as you know, we have irons in the fire for water and wastewater that we're working on and dealing with other communities to partner with them.
Any further questions? I'm hoping if you see on page 2, paragraph 2, it's for with Government Canada, Province of Manitoba, CMHC, and experts in health and science property. Develop and pilot a new collaborative affordable senior housing model, which that's great. We need probably different. We need senior housing. This is great. Any further questions? Okay. Where is the?
No, just one question. Is this model going to be a fast track type model, or is it?
It would probably be modular, right? Where it's the same in each community, the same. So right now they're looking at duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, and how they would look, levels going up, right? Those type of things. So part of this process would be, you know, looking at what the model would look like.
So every RM would essentially get the same package.
Same package, well, there'll be versions of the package too. Yeah. You know, RMs with servicing or areas where they might have a lot of acreage, they might do 200 units or 250 units. If you know, or less, you might say, listen, we only want to do 60 units here, right? So as we move forward, like you're going to need to get the grant, and as we move forward, more information comes to council. But these are the kind of things that you have to, you know, you have to get in early and make sure that you're, you know, you're on the ice. Let's talk what every Canadian knows, some hockey here. You got to make sure you got a team on the ice before you can even be in the game.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay, where is our real mentality of St. Andrews supports complete communities by encouraging diversified housing options for all ages, abilities, and incomes. And whereas the RM of St. Andrews has identified a need for housing that will allow community residents to age in place. And whereas the federal and provincial governments have identified the lack of affordable housing as a top priority for the Government of Canada and Province of Manitoba. And whereas there is significant funding and support available through the federal government and the Canadian CMHC. And whereas the Rural Municipality of St. Andrews has collaborated with John Q. Public Inc., John Q. Built Inc. on previous initiatives. Therefore, be it resolved that the RM of St. Andrews does hereby authorize the head of council and chief administrative officer to sign a letter of intent with John Q. Public / John Q. Built Inc. to collaborate on the development of an affordable senior housing model. Could I have a mover, please? Deputy Mayor Dornbos, seconded.
I'd second.
Okay, Councillor Hunt seconds. Any further comments? All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
That brings us to the adjournment. Be it resolved that the special meeting of council be adjourned at 5:10 p.m. Can I have a mover, please? Councilor Murphy. Seconded by Councilor Fablecorn. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, and we'll start the committee vote at 5:30.